Wasn't it?
You're not taking this very seriously right now. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Did you fart?
No.
It smells like fart.
And a lot of people shit here. It's like
We can edit that.
one
part out,
bathroom
but
and it's
it smells
right
like
here.
Fart right here. Like all of our guests are gonna come in and be like, "Did you shit your goddamn pants before we came on the show?" Like,
yes.
what's up, guys? Cameron Hayes, C494, and Ashton Johnson. We had to do the podcast a little bit different. There's a fucking leak right above me. Look at that.
Perfect.
Look at that. Perfect. Anyway, we had to do the podcast a little bit different this week. It's not a live podcast. We are currently in Alabama. We came and shot the Hoodrats match out here. It was awesome. It's like a designated marksman type match. Max distance was 675 yards, but targets were reduced in size and stuff like that.
Definitely a unique match.
It was awesome. It's probably the best match I've ever shot, just because it was so lax. Like it wasn't about, you know, like people being super competitive and like who the winner is and stuff like that. Like it was all about just being like helping each other out and stuff like that. And I love shit like that. I think that a lot of matches have pushed too far away from that, and they concentrate so hard on being like, you know, so difficult and stuff like that. So I really appreciated the match they hosted out here today. The Whiteheads, our sponsor, Title 2 Manufacturing, was a big part of it and stuff like that. I actually gave the match director a gift at the end of the match. So anyway, all right, so 6mm cheetah. I know a lot of people have been asking about velocities and stuff like that, so I'll go ahead and tell you guys. So today, I shot the 6mm cheetah for the first time past 100 yards, and Ashton, what did it do?
It hit hard.
It hit hard. It hit hard. So out of the 17.5-inch barrel, I was pushing about 2,700 feet per second, and I was pushing a 105 Hornady, so which has like a BC of a 0.53. So I was shooting. First thing we did was I was just like, I was a little bit nervous, like you would be for, you know, any rifle cartridge. I was a little bit nervous to make sure that it actually did what I thought it was going to do. So my projected velocities for it initially were 2,600 feet per second, and I had gone well past that and still not had pressure signs on the brass. I was using the wrong kind of powder at the time, though. I've since upgraded. Apparently 4895 has been the best powder for me so far. I was consistently shooting half MOA groups with it, so I was pretty stoked about that. And then I was like, all right, Ash, this is supposed to be my hold at 350, 350. I was like, tell me if I'm on or not. First round, hit the target and almost spun the damn thing off. So Ash just come off a glass, looked up, was like, that hit hard. So I was pretty stoked about that. And then I was like, well, shit, that was a first round impact at 350. Let's see what it'll do at 675, because that was the next target out, and it was a, what was that? Like
silhouette.
It was like a silhouette, but it was kind of reduced.
Yeah.
And I aimed left edge and center hold for the data that I have. Sent the first round, hit bottom right corner, little wind. Sent the next round, holding left edge, bottom right corner. Hit the next round, bottom right corner. Ashton's like, you just stacked 3 rounds at 675. And I'm like, what the fuck I'm talking about? Then Ashton got behind the gun. Ashton, what'd you think?
It's nice. It's nice.
She a game changer.
I went to the 350 and the 675.
Yeah.
We were getting low on ammo, but
yeah,
it was nice.
Tomorrow we're gonna let all the other people shoot it. They got a little demo of it today, but tomorrow they're gonna get it. Like everyone here is gonna get to shoot it and whatever. But anyway, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring in guests from the match today, ask them our regular questions. A lot of these guys, this is their first or second match. But we're still going to see if we can learn anything from those people too. There's also some, you know, heavy hitter pros out here. Like we had Lane Icord out here. He unfortunately had to leave early because he was going to an event or something like that. That was apparently more important than this. So I don't know what could possibly be more important than this, but whatever. So we're going to bring in the guests. We're going to ask them the same series of questions that we ask everybody else and see what everybody has to say. So first guest. Okay, so I totally forgot to mention this because I had said that I would give out, aside from the velocity specs, the actual case specs. So it's a 6.5 Grendel case that's neck down to 243 caliber or 6mm Molly. It's neck down to, Oh yeah, and not only that, it's dripping water on me too. It's neck down to 243 caliber. The neck length is also 243 caliber, so it blows the shoulder forward just a little bit, and 35 degree shoulder, because a 40 degree shoulder doesn't really work well in gas guns, and it gives you a little bit more case capacity. I did some volume testing and stuff like that, like H2O volume testing, and I found it to be beneficial to do that, to get the kind of velocities I was trying to achieve and stuff like that. So now you know the case specs. It's for the 6mm Cheetah, and you know what it is capable of out of a 17.5-inch barrel. Out of the 17.5-inch barrel, if you run the 95 grain Sierra TMKs, from our projected numbers, you can use a mil scope almost like a BDC out to 1,000 yards. I sent the numbers to these guys and stuff like that, like most of the guys that are out here, because it was pretty interesting that I was able to do that with the rifle cartridge, which was, you know, I wanted it to be simple on the end user and stuff like that.
Exciting.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, our guest is Jordan Spradley. So this is, whenever you hear me talk about Sprad bags, the bags I've been running in matches and stuff like that, he's the dude who made them. And actually, I ran the newest edition of the Sprad bag, the one that I drew up for him today, and it was awesome.
It almost worked better than mine.
All right, so this is Jordan Spradley. So tell us who you are. Tell the guests who you are.
J Sprad, Sprad bags, Cam Hayes edition 1.0 coming out soon.
Sorry, guys.
It's fine. I won't edit that out or anything. It's fine. It's fine.
I primarily do video work, but started almost a couple years ago now shooting everything from pistolas to rifles, and kind of got into long range.
We're going to
about a
long
year
range
ago.
experience here in a minute. What did you think about today's match?
Pretty much the best. I don't know what you fellas thought. I didn't get to hear that part, but
Yeah.
it was pretty awesome. I think it'd be hard to beat.
Gas or bolt?
Gas all day.
Ha! Okay, so you can have 10 people say bolt, and you're like, fuck you, Cam, and then one guy says gas, and you're like, this is the worst.
I can't be too mad at him. He's making a bag for my bolt that Title II painted up to match. I just gotta find the fabric.
Did you get to shoot that today? At what distance was that target?
6.
It was 600. Did you get a first round impact,
Yes.
or was it? Oh, okay, so yeah.
Yeah. With the
Yeah.
bolt, the gas got. I don't think the gas hit it. Huh.
Okay, so just so we're all clear, I wasn't supposed to shoot today's match. I was supposed to proof the stages and demo the 6mm Cheetah, and that was it. But what ended up happening was they were like, hey, you were working on Cheetah all day yesterday, so today we want you to actually shoot the match. But I didn't have a pistol, I didn't have a rifle.
Yeah.
I was just like, throw me some shit.
And I was the opposite. I proofed everything yesterday, so I'm like, I can't really compete today. It's not fair. Like, but there's 2 stages I want to shoot.
They literally handed me a 14.5-inch AR-15 that was just like AR-15, 14.5-inch. So basically an M4 barrel and some Mark II 62 ammo, and it had a Night Force attacker on it. I went and zeroed it at 100 yards and had no data on it at all. And I was still, what was I 5th today? 6th. I was 6th. I was 6th place.
It's probably the only time I can say this, but I was 1 place behind you.
He was 1 place behind me with none of my own equipment, so that's a major,
Excuses.
major accomplishment. But anyway, all right. So, dial or hold?
Hold.
Okay, good. Favorite rifle chambering?
I mean, 223 is the only one I got, but between you definitely influenced a little bit. I'm about 1 part away from having a Grendel. 6.5 Grendel.
Grendel. Yeah, 6.5
And
Grendel's
then-
pretty dope. I'm a fan.
A cheater upper
Yeah,
after that.
he's getting a Cheetah. What is your long range experience?
So it's been maybe 14 months since I sort of started. I took a class with Ash. You know, I just like happened to bump into him, and a friend of mine was putting on a class, and he was sort of co-teaching it. And then Ash sort of sent me on my way with that.
He said, Flyaway bird.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm doing this match, and I was like, well, I've shot 200 yards like once. He's like, just show up, and it couldn't have been better.
Yeah. Matches that you host or are affiliated with.
Maybe not necessarily host, but I do all of the video stuff for Ash and Quantified Performance. So I try to shoot and film at the same time. Sometimes that has its own pitfalls, as I'm sure you've experienced.
Hell, today you were driving a boat, filming and shooting at the same time.
Yeah,
he drove
Trying
a boat.
to.
There was a boat stage where we were literally riding in a boat
I'll have to send you some
speed.
of the footage so you can
clip
that in.
at full speed. And I ended up shooting that with a lever gun as part of it.
We got some good footage.
Just for fun.
I chased every shooter with the drone.
Yeah, he followed us with the drone or whatever. But yeah, there was one stage that you literally were in a boat that was going full speed. It was a John boat, and you were shooting targets off to the right. It was dope. I've never seen that in a match before. It was awesome.
I'd have to think it was at least 10, 15 miles an
It was
hour.
it was moving. Do you have any tips or tricks for people who are getting into the sport?
Sort of middle of the road on that one. I know you don't have to have the best equipment.
You just have to
go
be
out
the
and
best.
right. I mean, just sort of to go back, that sort of answers part of the other question. Was my first match. I bought Smith & Wesson M&P 15 for $380. I spent 3 times as much on glass, so that sort of helped. And the Quantified Performance match in September was the first one I went to, and I ended up placing 50th, not knowing about data, horrible stray lock info.
Was that the one that I was ninth place overall?
I think so, yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't
that was
we
the-
didn't meet there, but I remembered like sort of seeing you.
Yeah, there was a
But
lot of people at that match.
There was almost 80 people, and I placed 50th. My goal was just not dead last,
Yeah,
so I
that's a
was
solid goal.
I was ecstatic.
Okay, equipment. I know that you're the Sprad bag guy.
Yeah,
so
no, and that's sort of the reason why I started it. That was the one thing Ash told me. I said, hey man, do I need a bipod? Do I need all this other crap? He's like, have a bag, that's all you need. And like, that's like, you use them for anything and everything. Zeroing, like just even if you throw it to use this rear bag.
I've definitely found bags to be like really important.
Yeah, and have more than one.
Okay, any new developments in your life? It could be anything. If you got or it could be nothing. You could say you have no new developments. Everything's the same. You've always been the same. Nothing's ever going to change. You're going to die alone.
Hopefully just making more bags. Making action a bag to match his pretty new rifle. Or pretty new paint job, sorry.
Yeah, same old rifle. Old new hot.
And you know, maybe Ashton builds me a bolt gun. Maybe the next time I might
I didn't
answer
even
bolt.
build that one. I'll tell you what to buy.
All right.
I don't build that.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show. We're going to get the next guest in here.
What did you do last summer? I know what you did. What is the fuck is that?
What did you think of the match
Okay.
today?
Jeez, that's a bowl.
Where am I looking? Like, am I looking
Oh,
at you
Good
guys?
camera.
Favorite.
Yeah, I don't know who, man.
All right, I'll try it. Screw it. What's your last name? You're gonna edit all this out, Chris.
I'm not editing any of it out.
Chris what?
Walters.
Walters.
You don't know Chris Walters?
All right, take 5.
Yeah.
All right. We got Chris Walters with us now. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Who are you? I'm a former admin of a shitty name page, and now I'm in the Army and I teach officers how to maintain tanks and vehicles.
Okay, good. What did you think of the match today?
It was a lot of fun. I expected it just to kind of be like a fucking ballistic masturbation type of deal, where like we're just coming out here and fucking slinging rounds and all that, but no, it was pretty legit actually.
Yeah, nice and laid back. I love it. All right. Gas or bolt?
Ran a gas gun. Pretty much only shoot my gas gun.
I asked which brand, gas or bolt?
What?
Do you
What's
like
your favorite?
gas
What's
or bolt?
just
Which one do you
gas
like?
or bolt?
Gas.
Okay, he's all gas gun. You heard it. That's 2 so far.
All right.
Ash is going to be outnumbered on this one because
I
this
don't
was a
care.
gas gun match.
That bolt hit hard.
Cheated in
All
on too.
right. Dial or hole?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Really depends.
Elaborate? Yeah, it depends.
So like LVPOs and 106s and shit, and 200 and in, probably 300 and in, fucking hold. But
Okay.
reaching out there, if I've not been a retard and did work ahead of time, I'll dial.
So you'll dial between targets going out
Yep.
during the time. Okay.
Or I'll kind of half-ass dial and then hold from there,
So you dial for the first target and you hold at every additional target.
or at least the first target that I would be substantial enough to dial for.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Way better than
Trying really hard.
You're doing great. You look good on camera.
Thank you.
trying to read the camera's handwriting.
He just can't read. That's what it is. I read
No,
it.
I'll
Just
I
show
keep
y'all
forgetting
later.
to fucking look that way. Like, I'm just gonna stare
right there.
All right,
I don't see
favorite
myself.
This
It makes me
fucking-
fucking
I don't know what to
awkward.
do with my hands.
favorite rifle cartridge.
Couldn't read that.
It says like Changeberry or something. Like,
hell you reckon that?
What's your favorite changeberry? Not chambering.
I'll show you this close later.
It says chambering. What's your favorite chambering?
We'll go 5.56.
Okay.
Long range experience.
So first like real taste long range was shooting a PRS match in Washington, where I showed up with an 18-inch AR and everybody had fucking $5,000 optics and AI guns and everything, and I got treated like a fucking dirty poor.
Oh,
When
so
was
they,
that?
they treated you like shit at a PRS match. Weird.
Yeah.
I have all the negative opinions about PRS people.
A buddy of mine actually outshot them with my gun using American Eagle fucking bolt back, so he got like good middle of the back. Anyways, so from there, left that area, came here, didn't do shit beyond 300 because of range limitations. Then Ash's arena match, showed up to that, realized that I need to start working on that again. And since, what was the first one, a year ago, a year and a half?
Yeah, it was like a year and a half.
Whatever the first arena match is when I started working on it again.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Still using 5.56, so long range.
I've been using 5.56 and sniper matches and stuff for years.
Yeah.
And so that was actually like what we were talking about in one of the first episodes of the podcast, was we were talking about how, like, you know, you don't have to have the 6BR, the 6XC, the 6 whatever.
So-
you can shoot a 5.56 and
That's
still
the
be
ones I
competitive.
started on. If you learn the wind and you're dope.
I'm a really big fan of having a cheap enough cartridge to shoot a lot, so you do it instead of fucking having some laser beam fucking 300 Win Max 6.5 PRC or something. So I can afford to shoot enough to actually get better, as opposed to just fucking ass behind the cartridge.
That's right. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Matches you're a host or affiliated with.
QP Hoodrat match, and then local match at FMJ Armory is their like outlaw IDPA. So they do IDPA pistol and then like low light carbine and 2-gun and all that type of stuff.
Where's that at?
FMJ. And
Is that in Alabama? Is that
now it's in I'm trying to remember the name. LaGrange. So
Okay.
it's
Georgia?
where Ash used to shoot all the time, and then Russell Allen.
Mm-hmm. Wherever that is.
Any tips or tricks you want to share?
Don't suck.
Matches or whatever.
That's a good one. Don't suck. Yeah.
So we were talking about
Hit
this
your
out-
targets. Don't
yeah.
suck.
We were talking about this outside. Is every fucking match I go to, I always score like top of the middle, and there's always one thing like when I'm done with, I'm like, well, I probably should have done this, and I probably would have sucked. So today I realized I had taken my scope off my rifle, completely forgot about this match, and just fucking threw it on because I
Yep.
didn't
You
get
lost
back
zero?
to I didn't get back to the range, so I was hitting like a mil, 2 mil to the right for the first couple, and then I figured that out, and I started hitting targets. But
That's substantial at distance, isn't it?
yeah, but yeah, like zero your
Alright.
shit, know where bullets hit. It's
Yeah.
really important.
Having a good solid zero is kind of important.
All right. Equipment. Can't live without. Recommend.
The game changer bag. That's been a
Bags-
fucking.
bags are important.
It's been a game changer, if you would say.
I've said that. I have said that.
Decent, a rifle that runs. So, one thing
Palmetto State Armory,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, if it runs, who the fuck cares? But
Thank you.
I RO'd a match, and the one thing I noticed, there were a lot of dudes with the very expensive rifles that were
Didn't
very
run.
fucking niche. And when you start fucking with gas guns that are beyond like stoner
Yeah,
and
you want to
shit,
know what runs? Bolt guns.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
new
like,
development.
you're being the guy
I
who's
am.
like, I carry a revolver because revolvers never malfunction, and they don't even think about like revolvers going out of time and like missing firing pins because the cylinder's not.
What's fun is when you get fucking the round jumping out of the cartridge and it just locks the gun.
Oh yeah, then you can't fucking. It won't
You
even.
can't
The
do
cylinder
anything.
won't rotate and shit. And I'm just like, oh yeah, your revolver never malfunctions. Oh, and then fucking Jerry Mitchell like had his revolver, like his super crazy souped up Smith and Wesson, and a fucking firing pin came off. He went click 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 click
I
click.
might start using my revolver.
I'm done with you. I'm fucking. You can. Oh, you can go fuck yourself.
I tell you, I'll run that fucking 357 lever gun with my 686,
bring it.
and we
I
need to
shot
fucking
it.
do it
That
too.
was yours today?
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah.
We got video of that on the boat too.
What are the questions?
New developments in your life.
So I'm maybe starting a new page up since my last page. I was a derp list admin for those of you who know. It got nixed because posting screenshots of arms list. Apparently Facebook doesn't like that.
Yeah, Facebook doesn't approve. Does not approve.
So I got a new one I'm working on called Dad Bod Discipline. And it's not so much memes. There will be memes, but it's more like me as a regular fucking dude just learning shit and being like, hey, this is what I fucked up on and this is what's working for me. So that lever gun's gonna be like the big first inaugural project for
I've
that.
got the dad bod without the fuck trophies.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm just out of shape. That's what we call that.
I like eating. It's fun.
Right? I fucking love food so much. It sucks. I'm like in the army, I have to run. I hate running blows and whatever. Anyway, thank you for being on the
Thank
show.
you. Appreciate it. Thanks for
We're
asking,
gonna grab
guys.
the next guest. All right, so our next guest is a homeless gentleman we picked up on the side of the road here in Alabama.
Shot all right today.
What's up?
He was almost dead last. Almost.
11 out of 17 is not almost dead last.
That's pretty goddamn close.
That's close
Especially
to you.
because that's true. It is a lot closer to me than you've ever been. Ever. Literally, ever.
I think
Pretty
you want to watch
close
that
to
now?
He's been close to me in the bed. This is Jason Whitehead. He is Eddie Whitehead's son. He comes to some of the matches and stuff like that. That's actually how I met him. Was he heard me talking shit to some people at a match just because that's my personality. I think it's funny, and he was like, I think I like that guy. And we kind of we found out later on that we had actually stepped on some of the same dirt in some other countries and stuff like that around the same time frame. We had a similar life experience with some of those companies where we're no longer allowed to work for those companies.
Yes.
And anyway, so who are you?
Like you said, my name is Jase. Right out of high school, I did a lot of fucking up, so decided to join the Marine Corps. Well, I was gonna join
Which is
the
what fuck ups do.
I was gonna join the Air Force, and Eddie called me a pussy, like straight up out the gate. I told him he's never served at all, whatsoever. But on the porch, I told him, I was like, I got arrested like 3 weekends in a row, and he's like, you got to figure something out.
He was going for a high school.
You're about to go. And so I was like, I talked to our Air Force recruiter, and he called me a pussy on the front porch. The next day, I signed a Marine Corps contract, infantry contract for 6 years. The rest is history. Went in the Marine Corps, infantry contract, did LAR, which is light armor reconnaissance, and the guy from Quantified Performance, Jack Lillard, Jack was also LAR, same unit as me. He was second, so he was East Coast. I was third. I spent 6 years in 29 Palms, which is a beautiful place. If you ever get the chance to visit, you really need to. We've been shooting. Me and Eddie have been shooting.
We get to that later. That's a different question.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
where do you want to go now?
Okay. What did you think of today's match?
Today's match. This is the first match me and Eddie have ever put on. And we're really confident that we can do a good job with all the man we've got provided to us out here. And the only thing, I wish I had berms in place. I wish I could split up into squads. The only thing, I wish it could have went faster.
We did not streamline it because we were having.
We
a good
didn't
time.
streamline it. We had a really great time. But
Like if somebody wanted to just run it again,
Or needed help.
with
we
a
just-
suppressed
we just-
22 pistol or something.
we had a great
did
time.
it.
There was
Or
no,
full auto.
there was
Or
nothing
full auto.
competition-wise other than the fact that the score was kept.
Yeah,
But,
sort of loosely. I'm debating those scores since I fell so low in the back. All right, gas or bolt?
Gas, baby. My truck's a stick shift.
Did you set this up?
My gun's a gas.
Yeah. Well, you're on both sides of the spectrum there. Dial or hold?
So normally I'm a dial guy. everything in the past, I've always been a dial guy, and like talking to you, and a lot of the other better shooters that I've come into contact with, like I've always, I know I'm blowing smoke up your ass.
What is better shooters?
You're not that fucking good. But,
We're great, is what he means to say. That's why we do this.
I tried something different today. I tried holding everything, and I've got shit wrote all over my damn arm. But tried holding everything, and I actually come out a little bit quicker on the back end of it. So definitely, I think I'm gonna go with hold from now on.
Good.
But I got a newer piece of glass. I went with Vortex Viper,
Okay.
and really like it.
What is your favorite rifle chambering?
I like 223. So me and Ethan were talking about this not that long ago, and this shit is fun. It's cool to game the game, but at the same time, it's really damn cool to stretch out to 800 to 1,000 yards with a 223 that's not supposed to be able to get there. Like, I mean, it's a bragging right once you actually get to do that. And if you can do it effectively, efficiently, and consistently, then that's awesome. Like, so 223 would be my favorite chamber. Shot 6.5 Grendel today, but both are kind of on par with each other. Both have their pros and cons.
What is your long range experience?
Long range experience. So I grew up shooting with a two-tour Vietnam Marine Corps sniper all my life. Taught me how to shoot. Shot with him every Sunday from the time I was maybe 10 all the way up to when I joined the Marine Corps. I was a designated marksman in Afghanistan when I went. Carried Mark 12 in the country. Other than that, like Eddie came to me one day and he's like, I want to compete. So we started competing, and it's taught me more than the military or Tommy ever could have taught me.
No,
Like
for sure.
this is absolutely something that's definitely addicting.
Matches you host or are affiliated with?
So obviously today we hosted the Hoodrat match, the
Hoodrats.
first annual Hoodrat match.
Look up to his name.
I've shot arena matches, and I've shot the COD Resource Management Group match, the TRM match in South Carolina. That is the only matches I've ever been affiliated with.
Tips or tricks for people who are getting new into the sport? Something that you've learned that was like kind of like an aha moment kind of thing.
Tips or tricks is pay attention to the guys that know what they're doing. Take your time, slow as smooth, smooth as fast, and buy the right gear. Buy one's cry once. So don't spend a bunch of stupid money on stuff that's not going to work. Get dependable equipment.
Speaking of equipment, what is your favorite piece of equipment for long range shooting?
That would be a bag. So first shooting off, if you would have asked me this question 6 months ago, it would have been a bipod. Love shooting off a bipod. Learned a lot about a gas gun. I no longer have any bipods on any of my gas guns. It'd be a bag with a light fill. That's the most used piece of equipment on my rifle.
Do you have any new developments in your life? It could be anything. Promotion at work.
Shit, I got an erection the other day.
What?
Yeah, big
First
one.
time?
Like
Like
this
2.5 inches?
Well, yeah, that's stretching.
You got a new vehicle.
I got a new vehicle. Got I traded a 3/4 ton Dodge Power Wagon for
It
a
was big.
2020 Tacoma. I love it. Fuck it.
I got the Ranger, so
Yeah.
you can get the hell off
He
my
was
right now.
he was gonna try to get the Tacoma, but didn't want to be like Big Daddy. So
Didn't
had
want to be like
different.
everybody else who has a Tacoma. All right, well, thanks for being on the show. You're never going to be on it again. Love you, bye.
Fuck yeah.
Look wherever
Try,
you want.
just try to keep it sort of brief because people have been
Gotcha.
jerking it way too long.
All right. Now we got Patrick Steele.
Yep, Patrick
Yes.
Steele.
Yes.
That's his name.
That's
All
my
right.
name.
Who are you?
Patrick Steele.
Nailed it. Done. Just kidding.
I install stereos, turn wrenches, and I love to shoot guns on the weekends.
What did you think about the Hoodrats match?
It was the most fun I've had in a long time. Really, it is. I mean, it's really great to get out of the house and do it all. So,
I thought it was well ran. All right. Gas or bolt?
gas. never run a bolt.
Done.
That's another one.
I think you
I
said
had to catch up, man.
you
Like,
made the
I'm
bolt
literally
gun
like,
guy
I'm
leave.
like, I have to be tied right
After
now.
watching him today, though, it was like, oh, that dude knows how to run that bolt.
Stop. You said gas.
Okay, gas
Be a
gun.
be a man of
Change
your word.
mind, It's okay, don't listen to him.
Gas all the way.
All right. Dial or hold?
Hold. I haven't, that's all I know, so.
Good.
All right. Favorite rifle chambering?
5.56 223 Wild is what I'm
Popular
running,
tonight.
That's been the most popular
Yeah,
one so
that's
far.
what I've been using. So.
A lot of the dudes who are designated marksmen or people who are just like who like the designated marksman type matches and stuff like that have been saying 5.56.
Yeah.
It's been a really common one. And like I'd said to a lot of the other dudes before, a lot of people get surprised whenever I tell them that I've been running a 5.56 in sniper matches for years, and people are like,
Seen
"What?"
it do some work, so
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to work for me. So
Speaking of doing work, what's your long range experience?
only with the quantified matches and this kind of match, that's basically it. I got into it because of knowing Ash from way back when, or when he started coming to our range. Yeah. Well, he shot at our range at FMJ. doing our
We're talking
matches.
about Ash Hess, for those of you who don't
Yes.
know. He's
Sorry.
one of the dudes
Yeah,
who
not
helped
my
write
nickname.
the 322-9, which is the rifle and carbine manual for the Army. He's also helped with other pieces of Army doctrine and pretty much helped shape what Army marksmanship is today. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of a lot of the
I've done
people
classes
here.
with him, and so I just followed him to his matches and met all these other cool guys, and here we are. So
All right, matches you host or affiliated with?
just these. I don't host anything. The quantified, and then these guys, right here.
Damn right.
So
All right, tips or tricks?
just get out there shooting.
Practice? You
Just
said
practice. Dry fire.
Is that the first time we've had that?
Have we ever heard practice on this
Just
show?
put rounds through your gun.
Right.
You're not going to know how to use it if you don't run it and fail again and keep trying and keep trying.
Good deal.
I suck, but I keep trying and I've gotten progressively better. It's nice, isn't it?
It is.
You're jealous because you
I'm
can't
still
grow
in the
out.
Army. Like, the only reason
So-
I've got what I've got right now is because of the
Yeah.
coronavirus
But it's
stuff.
thick, man. It's
It's
solid.
She thick.
It's-
Boy, that's a thick ass boy.
So
She thick.
it's good.
All right, favorite piece of equipment? Suggested equipment? What you got?
The Mantis has helped me a lot with my
What is that?
pistol shooting. You don't know about the Mantis?
Maybe.
It's a device you put on your rail of your rifle or pistol, and it shows your pull, your trigger, your everything.
Do you have the X or do you have like?
I have the 3X, I think. I have one in the car.
Yeah,
there, so
after this.
it's really sweet. That and just getting out there. I don't really have a favorite piece of equipment. I've just steadily been trying to upgrade the quality of my gear and equipment, my rifle, my barrels, and my optics has been the best thing that I've done recently. And
What optic did you go with?
I got a Trigicon 1-8 AccuPower.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I got the same thing as another guy's running, Sam. So, and that was the biggest step for me as far as a purchase for my rifle is that thing
I mean,
so
if
far.
you
And
bought a Trigicon, you went balls deep in that purchase.
yeah, it was tough. It
Yeah,
sucks.
it hurts the wallet.
It
just hearing
did.
the word
It
Trigicon,
did
like,
hurt it.
oh.
So, but I've been really pleased with it so far, and it seems to work for me.
Did
so,
it pay for itself?
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say optics is really where it's at in a good barrel that you
I
can
tell
trust.
people all the time to at least match the cost of your rifle with
Yeah.
your optic. At least.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
and that's where I started off with this BS gun from the beginning, and then worked my way into putting money into a barrel and optics, and
Yeah.
everything has worked good from there. So,
All right, any new developments?
Yeah, like
Anything you
new
wanna talk
vehicle, raise at work, married, divorced.
no, everything's been peas and carrots. Really working my ass off. We've been slammed in the stereo business with.
Oh, so you're essential.
Yeah,
Me too.
I've been essential
Sucks.
since the beginning. No time off here. So.
Same. I know. Like all these people are on vacation, making
Yeah.
more fucking money than they made whenever they
Yeah,
were
I know. So
We ain't gonna get
just
shit.
Keep working and keep your nose to the grindstone. That's
There
all
you
Oh, I
go.
think
do, so-
Tyler Schooter might have said something.
Yeah,
about that.
exactly.
And out of the pills.
Yeah, always. Gotta stay out of those damn pills.
Well, thank you for being on the show. It was great
Thank
having you.
I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it, man.
Cool.
All right, go out there and fucking yell now. All right, man. Tell us who you are.
Hey, my name's Lee DeFee. I'm partly a host up here at Cotton Country. I'm the in-laws. I'm the sorry in-laws of this place.
All right. What did you think of today's match?
Loved it. It was a lot of work. Prior to during, of course, it shows in my shooting performance. No doubt.
Gas or bolt?
Bolt.
Bolt. All right.
Bolt. Bolt.
Dial or hold?
Dial.
Oof. Favorite rifle chambering?
6.5 Freeman.
Okay. Okay. We actually haven't had that one yet on the show. About everybody that we've had on the show.
6.5.
We have not had 6.5 Creedmoor, but I'm a fan of Creedmoor also.
Yep.
Long range experience.
20 years.
Okay. So you got 20 years of long range experience. That's a lot. Matches that you host or affiliated with.
This will
Just
match
the
here,
Hoodrats match?
Hoodrats match, and not affiliated. Quantified Performance was the only match I've ever been to. Any
Okay.
kind of competition.
Okay. Other than that, it's just been you yourself shooting.
Me, myself, and I. And
What do you think you could have done better today?
today,
That would have helped. Yeah, like what would have been better today?
put your dope in your scope.
That does help. All right. Any
No, I was
tips or-
running around on our first stage, targets, you know, how many times we lose a target, you know, that kind of thing. Doing all
Yeah,
that.
you were doing a lot of the repairs
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff today, so
just
yeah.
kind of got me. I was more of
Didn't
a
have to
host
mind
today
on it.
than I was trying to be a competitor.
Basically,
appreciate
when
it, though.
Lane would bang a target off of the damn target stand, this dude, because he was shooting a 308,
Started
making
making
a
him
million
shoot
feet
last.
a second.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Shoot
started
at the end
making
of the
Lane
stage.
shoot last because he was blowing targets off of targets. All right, tips or tricks for new shooters, like just something that gave you an aha moment kind of thing.
Aha moment was Quantified Performance over there, third stage. I watched everybody, and it was all about position. Position is everything.
Positional shooting, so shooting in
Position
unorthodox
is
positions.
everything. Especially if you're sitting shooting mid pack or toward the back of the pack. I don't want to hear any conversation that anybody's got going on. I'm going to watch that shooter and see if there's something that I can pick up from him.
Yeah, that he's figured out.
Something I can
Nobody
pick
else
up from him, or see a mistake that he's doing that once, if you're back here, you possibly can see the mistake.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of mistakes on that stage right there that I know. I shot it differently than everybody. I went, you know, Indian style, drop down. Everybody wanted the high rock. I wanted the lowest rock because I could drop down, you know, both elbows, point of contact, and it really made a difference in my. Not only that, it was early. It was like that was the third stage that I shot at that morning, and doing good in that stage right there boosted my confidence.
Yeah.
And I kind of carried that on with the rest of me.
I think today, whenever you were like running back and forth, like, you know, fixing all the targets and stuff like that, I seriously feel like whenever you're doing stuff like that, like it really affects your performance
Absolutely.
as a shooter, because that puts extra wear and tear on you
Absolutely.
as the shooter. and
A
stuff
host,
like
a host, guys that's kind of hosting the event and everything, we're worried about, you know,
that. Yeah.
we want you guys to come in, feel at home. We're good people. We like good people, and I want you to feel just as comfortable as you possibly can.
They've been
You know,
an amazing hosts.
You know, there's I had nothing to prove here. I'm a bolt gun guy anyway, you know, so I'm playing somebody else's game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, a really cool thing this morning.
But now I saw a guy today that could run a bolt gun.
Yeah, Lane. Yeah, he's on the AU. Actually, this morning, before me and Ashton went shooting, before we shot the match and everything, me and Ashton were bass fishing. So we definitely had our heads in the game. We were bass fishing
Right,
here
yes.
on Cotton Country. This place is awesome. All right, so what is a piece of equipment that for you was just like a big, like it made long range shooting just so much better?
Scope, man.
Scope?
Yes, if you don't have optics, I can take a $100 rifle and outshoot a guy that's got a $3,000 rifle and a crappy scope. If it's me, I can take a $300 stock rifle and put a excellent optic on it and outshoot a guy that's got a $3,000 rifle and, you know, a $500 scope. It's just optics is everything. Especially long range. You get out long range, you got to have number one, the reliability. Number two, the tracking of the scope. Number three, what was another good thing that I won't have a scope that don't have a bottom zero stop. zero stop is everything. Illuminated reticle, I've never really, there's times hunting wise when that's
I've ran
necessary.
into some stages where they put targets deep into the
Right.
shade and put
Yes.
it on a low.
Or have a really
It
dark
helps.
background, and then you have
Yes.
a black reticle to go
It
with the dark
helps.
There
background.
was times today where, you know, later in the match, you know, we had white targets to start with, they wind up being gray, and
Yep.
if I had a shot later in that match, I'd actually turn that reticle, you know, on, that illuminated reticle on.
All right, are there any new developments in your life?
Yeah, brother, I took, I've worked at the paper mill in heavy industry all my life, about 30 years, and
Is that a strip club, the paper?
Yes, yeah, the paper mill, yeah. But anyway, I've worked in heavy industry all my life, industrial maintenance, and decided, hey, I don't want to die with my music in me. So I could do nothing else there as far as progression other than going over into management, something I really didn't want to do. So don't die with your music in me. I decided to become, I was basically an industrial maintenance instructor at a college down here, been that way, started there in August. So hell of a change in my life.
Awesome, man, that's awesome. We appreciate you coming on to the show. We're gonna have the next guest. So
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank you,
y'all.
man. No.
No big questions, please.
All right,
All right. Next guest.
All right.
Who are you?
Sam Freeman.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from LaGrange, Georgia. I met
There's a song about
Ash
that.
S. Whenever he was living in LaGrange, he was working at the local FMJ Armory. He was teaching for DHR firearms instruction. Got to know him, and then unfortunately he got a job with Knights and moved out of town, and so I couldn't afford to move with him. So anyhow, we just had to start going to the matches that he was putting on, and so anyhow, we tried to keep in touch. And,
What did you think of the Hoodrat match today?
oh man, this was a blast, an absolute blast. It's hard to compare it to anything. I mean, I put on little matches at home with just you know, a handful of guys. We come out, we try out our new toys, we work on stuff that, you know, we just don't get to do. But I mean, here, who gets to shoot from a boat? I mean, it's just, you know,
I can't wait to see
the fact that we kept it as small as we did was great because we were able to do more, and you know, everybody just had a blast, I think.
It was a good time. Well, we had just said a few minutes before you walked in here that this was probably the best match we've ever shot.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a good time. And it was just because it wasn't necessarily about the competition. It was about being friendly with each
I mean, there
other.
was no expectations coming in. I don't think there was any expectations. There weren't necessarily any prizes to be won. I mean, there ended up being a few things, but I mean, so it was just having fun,
Prizes,
meeting
but not
guy.
enough to make everything competitive.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to
Yeah.
argue with you over whether it was a hit or what time or whatever. I mean,
Doing great.
yeah, we just had a ball.
All right, gas or bolt?
Gas.
Yes. Another one for gas.
We're not keeping count anymore, it's okay. I'm
Yeah,
taking
because
the
gas
question
comes
out.
winning now.
I don't even know why I asked that. Like, I have the questions now. I could just X that.
He's like, I'm just gonna eat that question out. Just go ahead and skip.
Dial or hold?
I hold on everything. I mean, I shoot a 1 to 8, and I don't know. I think my advantage is in the short game, and heck, I don't have enough magnification really to dial.
What is your what scope are you running today?
It's a Trigicon. It's the AccuPower.
Okay, so
1.4.
you're the other guy. So there was another guy talking about Mackie Power.
Yeah, me and Pat actually both. We shoot together a lot, and
Is it the beards? Is it because you guys have like? Do I need to grow mine out to hang out with you guys more? Is that what it is?
yeah, you're definitely not long enough to hang out with us.
Well, I've definitely heard that before.
Well,
That was a dig joke for everybody who wasn't catching.
it really was.
It was a dig joke.
Everything's a big joke.
All right, favorite rifle chambering?
I mean, I'm shooting 223. I like the 308, but I'm actually planning to build a 6.5 Creed just for the obvious advantages that it gives. I mean, I've got a 308 that I'm trying to sell. I've already sold a 6.5 Creed that I had as a bolt gun.
You're still trying to find your favorite then.
I really am, but I think the 6.5.
He ain't had a cheetah yet. He's gonna get a cheetah,
I
and it's gonna be
know.
his favorite. Don't even worry about it.
Seems like cheating.
Some people were calling it the 6mm cheater.
Cheating.
All right, long range experience.
I've actually, I think the longest that I've hit is about 700 yards at one of the arena matches. So
How was that?
350 is all I can get at home, and there's really no place around to do any more. So arena and then here, two opportunities
Leave it.
at 600 plus, and I did hit a few of those at 675. I know my dope is a little bit off. It hits a little bit low, but fortunately because of that, I got 3 dicks, I think.
You got
out of
3
the day
dicks today.
because it was
Bonus
low.
targets.
There were dick targets that were worth extra points.
And they were low, and so I was able to hit them because I was aiming center. And, yeah.
Usually are low.
Technically, I missed,
hit the
but I hit the
dicks.
dicks, so
That counts.
they won. Yeah.
And that's where you messed up. You should have just claimed it.
It's like I was made to shoot all them dicks.
That's right.
All right, matches you host or affiliated with.
Nothing official as far as hosting. Just backyard.
Okay,
stuff
so
that we do.
He kind of does what the Panagonia or whatever, like where they were doing that in their backyard and shit.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 of these guys live near me, and we just kind of get together in the backyard and shoot. I've got a pretty nice steel plate rack, stuff like that for pistols,
Do you
short
have
range.
350 yards in your backyard?
Yeah. Well, it's not my yard; it's my daddy's house. It's 6 miles down the road. But yeah, I mean,
Man, I keep telling people that like for load development to have something like that is just a game changer. This weekend, I got to work on the cheetah a little bit, and I literally would go inside of the workshop, load up some rounds, walk out the back door, shoot 100 yards, and just test out the rounds, then walk right back inside and load up some more. It is a game changer at range.
so that's kind of my dream, is to be able to find a place that I can walk out the back door, first take a leak, and then go ahead and try out my long range loads that I've loaded up.
He's getting older, so
Right.
it's, the bladder thing.
But everything I've been loading so far has always been 69 grain, and I've been trying to work up to the 77s. And
Don't be
this
scared. Don't be
past
scared of
2
77s.
weeks, the past 2 weeks, I have loaded the 77s that I shot today, and so it's all kind of new load development, and I'm kind of using an old ballistics calculator that I had and zeroed. I was on it 2. I was on it 350. I said, hey, I just got to go with it.
What powder are you running?
I'm running tack.
That's right. We talked about that.
23 and a half grains of ball tack.
Okay.
Behind the
23,
77.
that's a light load, ain't it?
It kind of is, but what I did is I ran 200 rounds this week in ladders. I ran consecutive ladders, and I found what I think to be the sweet spots, and I just continuously narrowed it down, and I was between the 23.4 and the 23.5.
Yep.
The 23.4 I thought was going to be the one to go to, but the last 2 times I ran the ladders, I actually had almost identical standard Ds, but when I actually looked at the paper, my 23.4 was a 2-inch spread, and my 23.5 was just much tighter. I mean, it was just an obvious difference between the two, even though the numbers were skewed. They were just hard to determine, but the paper told the difference, and that's why I went with this load. I actually want to work it up a little higher. I saw a few traces that told me that I might have another little harmonic at a higher end, but I didn't really have time to develop it. Yeah, I'm only like 2620 velocity, which is seemed to me a little bit low, especially trying to get out to 600-700 yards. But I mean, I was hitting pretty good, so it's consistent. I mean, that's what we got to go for, is consistent.
Someone's grabbing their dick. Hopefully he's going to be next.
I hope so. All right, any
And you're next.
tips or tricks? Shooting matches or just shooting in general?
Yeah, like something that was a good tip or a trick for a new shooter.
So, I mean, I've always been
Bradley,
bad.
I heard that zipper. Sorry.
I've always been bad about getting the jitters, so like I was the first one to go today because I wanted to get the first one over with, and from then on out, I mean, I kind of felt like I settled in. You know your dope, test it out beforehand, do your homework. I mean, range your targets and know ahead of time what you're going to be holding. That way you can adjust for wind or anything else that may come your way.
It's funny that you mentioned the thing about going early or going first. I went first a lot today, and the reason why I did that was because I knew there was a lot of new shooters here who haven't really shot competitions or anything a lot.
Yeah.
And I found, because I normally don't go first whenever I go to matches, but I just knew that there was a lot of really new shooters and a lot of people who I've shot against who kind of not really look up to me, but they ask me a lot of questions and stuff like that to help them with long range stuff. So I was like, okay, if I shoot this stage first, then they can kind of see what I did wrong and kind of fix on. So just like on the pig stage, I dropped way deep down into a tank trap. And then I found out you can't see the 300-yard target when you're drop down, so I had to hop way up. And I was like, well, I went first, but now, it cost me a whole ass target. But everyone else got to see that. So then, beyond that, everyone else did the same thing.
But I still did the same thing because being down in that well was still a better position.
It was more stable,
for 4 of the 5 targets.
Yep.
And I didn't mind moving at the last minute to get the one. So that was still the better way to do it, I think.
Yeah, it was for the first shots, but if I wouldn't have had to move, there was seconds added on to your time for doing that, and that seconds count in the match whenever I think the part time on that stage was 45 seconds.
It was 60.
60 seconds, yeah, something like that. It was quick, so you had a pistol involved as well.
Right.
So anyway, next question.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Equipment. Anything you'd recommend to new shooters or something you can't live without?
So I don't really use a lot of equipment. I despise bulk. I don't like anything that's bulky. Bulk.
Yeah.
Bulk. Yeah. I mean, I don't like anything that's really bulky that just weighs me down. That actually prohibits movement or whatever. I mean, I try to keep it as simple as possible.
Streamline.
Streamline. Yeah, absolutely. And do with as less as you can. And I have actually done away with bipods altogether, and I just simply use a bag.
Yep. We've had a lot of people talk about bags tonight.
I ain't giving it up completely.
No, I mean there's times when you it's beneficial.
All right, new developments.
But like anything in life, there can be a new car, there can be a raise
Or a
at
new
work.
girl working at a gas station. You're like, whatever.
Oh,
That's a good one.
for me, I'm always looking for something better. I mean, life's too short to just be stagnant. I
And
mean,
you just had your 24th birthday, right? So you're
no. I'm about 40, so
about 40.
I'm almost, I'm 39. I'll be 40 this year, so I really need to.
Is it how many 39th birthdays have you had?
I lost count. He said 4.
Some Russian keep walking through here.
Oh, he's gonna be next or him's gonna be
Oh
next.
God. All right, man. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming
Hey,
on, man.
Thanks for
absolutely
doing it.
enjoyed it. Thank you guys for doing this. Had a ball. Thank you.
Oof.
That's my first time on YouTube.
All right, so who are you?
I'm Tyler Cruiser.
I've been saying your name wrong for a long time now.
Yeah,
I've been
everybody
drinking
does.
Also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what did you think of today's match?
Today's match was pretty good for being just the start of a new series, I guess.
Yeah, for it to be like the first match.
First match of
Yeah, it was. You can tell there was definitely a lot of experience putting their hands in it and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right, gas or bolt?
Gas.
That's another one for gas guns. All right, dial or hold?
Hold.
All right. Favorite rifle chambering?
5.56.
All right. Long range experience?
5, I'm good. Past 5, it's 50-50.
Yeah, you're like, What? Talk
Like-
real quick about what you ran today before you say something like that.
Okay, so today I ran a 10.3 Mark 18 Daniel defense upper.
He ran a Mark 18, not what everybody else says is a Mark 18. He ran a Mark 18
Yeah, it's
today.
a Daniel defense Mark 18 upper, Raz rail, chrome lamp bolt, carrier group, with an ALG ACT trigger, 4.5 pounds, so nothing special with the trigger. Better than mil spec, but not super
Let's be realistic. Everything's better than this thing.
true. With a 1-6 razor, with 55 grain ammo that I'm not true nor pulled data on.
He did very well for what he was running, for sure. Like, basically, like, the kind of not really going joke or whatever here at the end of the match. He was like, you know, if I place better than you, you shouldn't be shooting these matches kind of thing. Because he was running 55 grain ammo with a 10.3. Will someone shut that door? Will you shut that door? Thanks. Somebody running a 10.3, you know, a shorty out to 675. You know, your bullet reaches the transonic gun well before that. But not only that, he didn't even have BC as an advantage. He wasn't shooting Mark 262 or anything like that. So he did very well for what he was running. Like, I would consider mid-pack to be good for, you know, that deficiency. Anyway, matches that you are affiliated with or that you host yourself.
I don't host any matches. I am affiliated with Quantify Performance. I'm one of
Who is it?
Quantify
Oh,
Performance.
those guys.
Yeah,
A
these
couple
guys.
people wore those shirts out here. It's
Um,
weird.
Yeah, weird.
It's crazy.
I've been with them since they started, so I help them. I've done RO for 2 of their matches, shot 1 of their matches. I recently, before the whole COVID pandemic shit, or actually right at the beginning of all the COVID pandemic came out, was the U.S. Army, quote, all Army small arms competition that Fort Benning and AMU hosted back in March. Yeah, March. Yeah, where I competed in that as well.
Okay. Did you enjoy the All Army? You're sergeant first class, right?
Yeah, I'm sergeant first class.
He outranks me. Sort of.
Cab Scout, whatever. Enlist doesn't really matter, but
It does matter. I was a scout. It's dope.
but yeah, it's basically what was interesting about that was as a whole different level of discipline type shooting, very formal discipline type shooting. But the advantage with that was everybody was running the same guns.
Whenever you say that, what do you mean?
It's all issued.
No. Whenever you say that it was a very disciplined type of shooting, what do you mean?
So it goes back to like what we saw, what you'd see back, like the civilian marksmanship program
Okay, yeah.
level type matches where it's very sportsman, structured,
Okay, yeah.
disciplined, like bullseye targets, not steel.
Okay, so it wasn't like a bunch of soldiers shooting a qual.
No, God,
Okay.
no.
Okay, cool. So it was like way beyond.
Yeah, it's basically like the same thing what you see at Camp Perry at the national matches.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, that's dope. Did you do well in the match or
I placed middle of the pack,
mid pack?
or slightly below mid pack. So like the lower end of the mid pack.
Okay.
For
But you said there was
overall,
AMU dudes and stuff there too, right?
AMU doesn't compete too often, but it's
Oh,
AMU.
they do, but not in that, right?
Not in that, no, because they host it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're
it wouldn't
the
be
ones.
cool to host
They're the
that
ones
shit,
that are
right?
hosting it, running all the ranges and all that. But there's guys from, I forgot. There's guys from one special forces group from Campbell.
Mhm.
There's MedCom. Also, there's medical people out there. National Guard. There was only one guy from 82nd this year. They didn't send a team.
Yeah, Bragg is short right now. They're deployed.
Yeah. And then there's guys from. We're supposed to be in a team from Italy, but they got quarantined.
It'd be like this.
It'd be like that, especially in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over National Guard, but
Okay. Do you have any tips or tricks for somebody who's like new getting into the long range sport? Like something that gave you like an aha moment kind of thing?
stability.
Stability? Okay.
Yeah.
I understand exactly
Build-
what you're saying.
Get into position as fast as you efficiently can.
Mhm.
Don't waste your time getting in position. Get into a position. If it sucks, it sucks. Roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
But get stability in that position.
Yeah, before you break your shot.
But get in a position as fast as you can. Don't try to build that perfect position because you're just burning time.
Yeah, and it doesn't exist.
And it doesn't exist. Just get into a position and gain some stability either through whatever support, artificial support, or whatever you're allowed to get, bags, bipods.
Words a little bit. Have you been drinking?
I mean, I've had
We
a
don't
few,
drink
but
on this podcast.
No.
Not one of us. We go to church on Sunday.
I'm also tired and burnt the fuck out. But
We'll blame it on that.
We're gonna put
But,
a pin in that for now.
yeah, stability is the key, and then the second key is data.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Having good confirmed
Having
data is
good
important, yeah,
confirmed
for sure.
data, because if I had good confirmed data today, I probably could have done a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, like like I had said to some of the other guests that we've had on tonight, is that we've had like today they just dead ass handed me a gun and were like, "You're shooting Mark 262 out of a 14.5," and I was like, "Okay." And I didn't chrono the ammo or anything like
Yeah.
the BC, but if you don't know the velocity, you can have a good solid zero, you're just fucked.
Yeah,
That's
like
like-
me yesterday. I proofed them. I'm like, I'm not shooting today. Everybody's handing me stuff. Shoot this, shoot. Okay,
It's all
I
different.
do well.
That's like
I'm
this,
with them.
this ammo I was using today. Like, I just took the mathematical calculation kind of like rounded down to what 10.3 inch barrel should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure this ammo was actually shooting faster than what I thought it was, because my holds of what the calculator said weren't quite like they were. I knew they were going to line up, but it was way off at those longer ranges where I was like, I don't know what's going on right now.
That's where it makes a difference.
Yeah, that's where it makes a difference. Is like 400 and in. Yeah, send it.
Bees knees, yeah.
Like 400, that's when it starts getting weird, and then once you go past 400, that's when you need to know that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so is there a piece of equipment that was just like the game changer for you? It was like it made long range shooting like exponentially easier. Was this piece of equipment? It could be a piece of glass. It could be tripods. We've gone over bags. Every fucking body said bag. Please don't say bag.
Okay.
It can be you can say bag if that's the big thing you
Well-
want to talk about. It can be a bag, but yeah, like
What's the second best thing in this bag?
yeah. If
Well,
it's
so-
a bag, tell us the second best thing.
Glass.
Yeah, so we had people talk about scopes too. So tell us what you think about scopes.
So scopes, it's like you need good glass, but you also need a decent reticle.
Yeah, reticles
Like,
for sure.
Reticles are good, but like if you have, like I run a 1:6 Razor Gen 2 in MOA, so the reticle is very, very extremely basic,
Yeah, it's
and,
like
and it leaves a lot to be desired.
for sure
But the glass quality on that
phenomenal.
is phenomenal, and when I get in position, I can get up on that glass, and it's there.
Yeah, today was
then-
the first day I really looked through glass and it was yours.
Yeah.
On a Vortex, and I was like, oh my god. This is
But on the
amazing.
razors, like I'm not saying like not all LPVOs are that good.
No, not at all.
And the Razor is one of the best quality glasses, but with a reticle, it's severely lacking.
Yeah, they could
But-
definitely do some Christmas tree,
but
like
it-
anything.
Definitely helps you get up on that glass a lot quicker and get targets a lot quicker.
I agree. All right. Are there any new developments in your life? It could be anything. It could be a new vehicle. It could be a wife. It could be a divorce. I don't care. Whatever. New girlfriend. New boyfriend. New sexual partner. That is
Not really. This whole COVID thing kind of put everything kind of in a weird limbo for me right now.
Yeah, because you are still you're active duty Army, right?
Yeah, I'm active duty Army. I was scheduled to PCS in July. That's still on, but I don't know. I put in a deferment. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
So everything's kind of in a holding pattern, I guess, right now.
I get it.
And it's gonna be like a go.
Okay. Well, we
Which is
appreciate you coming on.
typical
the show.
Army.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
No, not the Beowulf.
What's
The-
the 450 Bushmaster?
No.
450 SOCOM?
No, not the
450 SOCOM's such a fucking joke. It's
It's a-
458 SOCOM.
It's a
Oh,
freaking.
my bad.
And it's a joke.
My bad.
All right.
In a minute.
Hey, dickhead.
You don't tell me what to do.
You ain't my real dad. All right, we're about to start this one. Go ahead, Ash.
All right, next guest. Who are you?
Well, I'm Ben Holtzman. I'm from Dothan, Alabama,
Okay.
and yeah, that's who I am.
What did you think of the match today? The rap match.
To be honest, blew me away. I had a great time. I don't get a lot of opportunities to go out to such a solid match where it's very clear and concise and also very fun. Typically, matches
nice
that
and laid back. And
matches that I've been to that are so organized are very, very anal about particular things, and there's not a good vibe. And when you're not in that good vibe and you're not comfortable, more than likely, at least for me, I speak for myself only, I'm not going to shoot very well when internally, my vibe is not. I don't have that good juju.
Yeah, it's really important.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. I don't care if you believe it or not, but it's fucking real.
The anal and all that.
Now that stuff's a little different. We can talk about that later.
You just said all of that. You said vibes and anal and all of that.
That is true. I did use
said
vibes
all
and
that.
anal. So let's not
This
take
is
that out of context. But if we
Little
do,
you guys
let's at least
know,
make it look good.
He is a porn star. His name's Long John Silver. You can look him up later. Long Dong Silver. I apologize. Somebody corrected me. I've been drinking. Continue.
It's different in Arabic. Back in my original market where I shoot all my stuff, and that's the market where I sell my porno. It's a little different.
I have a tattoo in Arabic, actually. I had to keep it covered because it was considered offensive or something like that on my last deployment.
That's similar to my porn name, actually. I just read it.
Yeah.
Cool. Gas or bolt?
Gas.
Cool. Go fuck yourself.
I don't know about Arabic.
On it. What is it?
Gas.
Gas.
Yeah. That's another one for the gas guy.
forgot.
I mean, bolts
forgot
are
to
bolts
skip
are
that
great,
question again.
and they are fun. But gas is just.
King, right?
It is.
Cool. Gas, whatever.
We're adults, and
I mean,
we run gas.
Next
guns now.
question, dial or hold? We're done talking about gas.
Hold.
Well, it's just
Hold.
better.
Always hold.
Gosh.
I mean, if I'm Mark Wahlberg in Shooter and I gotta make the frickin' 1900 meter shot, yeah, I'm probably gonna use fucking
Okay,
calculator.
so if you want to talk about the show shooter, if you want to talk about the show shooter,
Probably
No,
gonna
not
use
the
a
show.
bolt.
I mean,
Probably
I've
gonna
seen
use
one
a
episode
bolt
of
as
the-
well.
I'm only talking about the original movie.
you're missing out. You're missing out. So I've tried to explain to people so many times what it's like whenever you're looking at an actual target, like in country and stuff like that, and whenever you're trying to figure out how to smoke that haji over there, what you see in your head in order to accomplish
That Haji over there can also be a thought. That Haji over there, think about it. T-H-O-T.
You're right. Thoughts. Thoughts for your thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so anyway,
This is a breakthrough.
we're breaking new ground here. This is Alaska, and we've got a drill. So
For all of
anyway,
you watching, there's so much fantastic info and things to learn on this channel, and thought being that Haji over there is
that's
lesson
that's
number
a new
one.
thing. I might make that a t-shirt idea or band name. So anyway,
Money.
If you watch the first episode of the show Shooter that is on Netflix or whatever, that is what you have to think about the world looking like. Like you have to think about your angle of fire. You have to think about your direction of fire. You have to think about what the wind's doing. You have to think about where you're.
All the other variables that you need to take
Everything.
into account before you send it. Yeah.
And I've never been able to explain it properly, like the math problem that's going on in your head whenever you're trying to make a long range shot like that. And then I watched the first episode of Shooter, and will y'all keep it down?
Yeah, peanut
And
gallery.
I watched the first episode of Shooter, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, I've been trying to explain this to people for years. I'm just gonna start telling them to watch the first episode of Shooter. Next question.
Favorite rifle chamber?
Favorite rifle chambering. I'm gonna have to break the rules here, and I'm gonna have to go for two, just because they're my absolute favorite. I can't decide between them. It's like having twins and kids.
Or titties.
Or titties. Yeah. Typically, I go left. That's just been my personal experience. But it's gonna
You're
be,
right-handed, so they're facing towards you, the titties.
You know, I never thought about that, but
That's why.
that's probably the scientific explanation. That makes
Thoughts.
perfect sense. That's
Thoughts for
logic
your
right
thoughts.
there. Thoughts for your thoughts.
T-shirt.
But to answer your question, it's gonna be 5.56 and it's gonna be 7.62 because I've used those the most.
7.62 by what?
With the
25.
7.62 by 51, is it?
51, so 308.
Yeah,
NATO.
a 308 NATO. But a special mention needs to go out to 6.5 Creedmoor. The first time I shot it was about 6 months ago, and really I fell in love. I haven't had too many opportunities since then to shoot it, but when I have, everything's just been spot on, and it's just been a very enjoyable caliber to shoot, and worth a look.
6.5 Creedmoor was definitely made for people who wanted to get into the long range game. with
Absolutely,
modern
I would
technology
agree.
and stuff like that, but don't want to get into reloading, in my opinion. I think that the 260, even though it's very, very similar, is more. It's better for hand loaders. Like people who are going to hand load, I say, hey, if you're a hand loader, run 260 because you have more case capacity, you have more options. If you're gonna run a cartridge that you can just go to Walmart and buy off the shelf,
Commercial off the shelf?
if they even do that anymore, I don't know what the fuck Walmart sells anymore. If you want something that you can buy off the shelf and then go shelf and then go run in a match, 6.5 Creedmoor. And I tell people that all the time.
Yeah, I've been able to purchase and procure 6.5 Creedmoor. Not that I'm endorsing this or anything like that. This is just what I have some experience with. Is the 6.5 Hornady Black. produce some solid results just from pulling out the box, stuffing them in the mag, and just straight shooting. I've had a good experience with them. Yeah. Competitively priced.
Speaking of experience, what's your long range experience?
Can we specify the question?
No, just in general.
Answer whatever feels natural. Whatever feels best. Just relax. Let it happen.
Well, between the years of mid-2007 to 2011, I served in the Israeli Defense Forces.
That's the IDF.
That's right, that's the IDF.
That's what that chick from who was Superwoman, Mega Woman,
Gal Gadot.
her too, yeah.
Yeah, she's my ex. We don't talk about
They
it.
dated.
Yeah, we
It
dated.
was a thing.
We dated. It was a
He was
thing.
in the IRF.
I still love
IDF.
you. I really do.
Indirect
IRS.
fire. He was in the IRS.
That's
He
cool.
was in
She'll
the
definitely
NFA.
see this.
Yeah, of course she will. She watches gun blogs all the time. I
For
talk to
sure.
her sometimes.
She watches mine.
but-
Absolutely.
But seriously now, so my experience with long range shooting there is just for kicks, between buddies, we're betting each other who can make a further shot, more accurate, more precise.
That's how I
So
started out.
we were pushing out 5.56 from surplus 14.5-inch government profile barrels that we'd received from the United States, out to 760, 770 with an ACOG, just kind of screwing around. Now, for the record, let the record show, we were shooting uphill. If that makes a difference.
Angle of fire makes a difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course it does, but who knows who's watching? But so we were shooting uphill. Targets were kind of big. It was like a silhouette of like your upper body from waist up to head.
An
IPSC, I suppose, and not an expert here.
He's not an expert. He said it.
And we were making solid hits.
Nice.
And then with 7.62, in a real combat situation, I pushed out a 7.62 with a military edition, the SR-25 or the M110 as they call it here in the U.S. in the Army or the Navy designation. I pushed it out to just shy of 1,100 meters. It was probably about 1,080, give or take.
You've pushed farther than I have with a M110.
And shots were just dead on, and it wasn't because of me, because I'm only an average shooter.
I do tell people that one of the things about an M110, I try to tell this to soldiers and stuff like that whenever I'm teaching soldiers in sniper sections and stuff like that. The M110 might be a 1.5 MOA gun with M118LR. That's just a thing. Sometimes you get a good one, you get 1 MOA. Sometimes you get a little bit under, rarely. But it is a 1.5 MOA gun. With that, rifle, ammunition, and shooter combination. But it will maintain that 1.5 MOA to the target, and that's what's important.
Completely agree. I think you hit the nail right on the head right there.
Yeah.
And so that's my experience with long range, pretty much as a whole. I've screwed around a little bit and tried to at somebody's property try and send some 5.56 down to 1,000. Did I make 1 hit, 2 hits out of 30-round mag? I did, but is that real? I don't think so. It could be argued.
Matches that you host or affiliated with?
I don't host any matches, and I don't know if I can really say that I'm affiliated, but I want to play on. I want to be on the safe side, so I'm not gonna say that. But I'm very passionate about quantified performance. Ash Hess and Jack Luba put those on, and they've been like family to me. And everyone that they've introduced me to, present company included, is like family to me right off the bat. And very fortunate to be able to attend those events and to get even invited from the get-go.
What about paying it forward? Any tips or tricks you can tell some new shooters?
Tips and tricks. This is a tip for myself and for everyone. Just you have to go out there and shoot.
Practice.
Practice makes perfect. That's the oldest saying in the book, from what I know.
Practice makes more gooder.
And
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I believe it was in that one issue of
Vogue.
It was either Vogue or was
Good Housekeeping.
or the Crimson from Harvard, because they're such a stand-up,
There it is.
educational
This
practices.
is good.
Yeah,
What
there's
about
definitely never
equipment?
been
Anything you'd
efficient
recommend?
Well, before I hop
Using?
into equipment, I know that we want to streamline this, but before I hop into equipment, I really can't reiterate enough how important the practice is, and getting the rust off. If you have shot in the past a lot, I mean, rust builds up. It's life. That's the way it is. You have to practice. You have to
Yeah,
practice.
we've had a couple other people
And,
talk about practice.
And it's,
Practice is common.
for me at least, like I said, I speak for myself. For me, it's fun. It allows me to really get in like a zen type of state. It's also because of the good people that I'm with when I'm shooting. But just going out and practicing and being able to, let's say I've screwed up and I've missed my first 11 shots. Just completely missed it. I saw them splash over here, splash over there. When you start correcting and you start fixing it and really getting in there and getting on target, it makes you feel so good, because no one can deny that that is a proof of accomplishment right there. When you're missing 9, 10, 11, 12 times, and then you fix it up and you're on target, that's an accomplishment. And any accomplishment is going to be positive for you. And just practice. Bottom line, practice is the most important thing. Even getting out by yourself and shooting out to 100 meters, to 600 meters, as long as you've got targets out there, you can see what you're hitting and see what you're missing too. Seeing what you're missing is just as important as seeing what you're hitting, because you can move from, oh, I'm too far over there by about 10 feet. You're going to be able to scooch right on in there and get on target.
So I gotta ask you right now, are you looking forward to shooting the cheetah tomorrow?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm probably going to steal it tonight, and there's going to be like pop, pop, pop. You know, like 3 in the morning. People are going to start freaking out. And but I'm very excited. I'm actually, for the record, I'm actually very upset that certain people don't have the physical strength to go out and get the cheetah from its safe place so I can have a close look at it. People are making me wait. I'm not a fan of that. I'll wait with girls, but not with something like this. This is unwaitable. I just made up a new word, unwaitable.
That's unreasonable.
That's a trademark by Ben Holtzman, so no one steal that.
All right, back on top.
Yeah.
Equipment.
Equipment.
What would you recommend to a new shooter, or something that aha moment, or something that helps
So
you?
from what I've heard through the grapevine, bags and glass have been spoken about quite a bit. So I'm going to start with something different, and then I will mention those two things very, very briefly. I just want to put my my water over here.
That's a water?
It is.
I like water.
It is.
We're all drinking water on this
Yeah.
podcast. We don't drink here. The alcohol is for both.
Hydrate or die.
Hydrate.
Just
Mine's got ice in
just
it.
like Vicky Valancourt, alcohol is the devil. Y'all better believe it.
I think Mama said that.
Yeah, Mama did say that. You were listening. So,
Mine's water in the form of ice.
Mama said the alligators is ornery.
because of all them
Because they
teeth.
got all them teeth
and
and
no
no
toothbrush. So
Well,
hopefully people
Mama's wrong again.
hopefully people on screen can see this. Before I go into the make of the rifle, which is not as important because the shooter and the practice is what's important, but we're talking about tips, tricks, and things that I would recommend. People often overlook a muzzle device. A lot of people think that the muzzle device is a code word for a suppressor. A suppressor is technically a muzzle device.
Yep, it is a muzzle device.
But that's not the only one that's a muzzle device. You've got brakes and compensators. So one of the things that I think really helped me specifically, and I think it helps everyone, but I can only speak from my experience, is the particular muzzle device that I have. It's called the MAMS. It's by Knight's Armament Company. I'm going to take it off for you guys real quick.
This isn't bleeding into time on the show or anything like that.
Not at all.
I'm keeping all of this in here.
Not at all.
By the way, after we're done with this podcast, I'm going to talk to you about your setup just for a minute in my experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that because is it free? Are you going to charge me?
I'm just now seeing it, and I'm going to talk to you about it here in a minute.
Awesome. So this thing right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully you can.
They totally can. Just talk about it. Say it's the greatest.
It's
better than Control Solutions muzzle brakes, which is what we run on the show.
I've only shot a Control Solution once at the last arena match,
And it was the best goddamn brake you've ever shot, right?
it was tied with the first goddamn break I've ever shot.
Was it mine? Because like at the match, I was actually working the control area, and I had mine.
It was
up.
yours.
Okay.
It was. But this thing has been a game changer for me because it's allowed me to stay very precise on targets that are past the 650 and 700. I'm able to get to recreate the shot, not only hit it, but I'll be able to pull the trigger again and be spot on.
Faster follow-up shots.
Yeah, just faster follow-up shots. You said it much better than I can.
I sure did.
And it's been very helpful to me. Great investment. It's never going to leave my rifle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
About that.
And then quickly, I just want to mention glass. Glass is very important, or quality glass is very important. All glass is not created equal.
Taking a piss in there?
It's very important to have quality glass, because if you don't, you're going to feel it, you're going to see it, and you're going to get upset, and you're going to whine, and you're going to bitch, and your friends are not going to like you.
That's true.
And your smart friends are going to say, hey man, I'm pretty sure I told you so, and it's just going to be an uncomfortable situation. So the scope that I'm running, the optic that I'm running on this 14.5 inch Knights SR15 is a Leupold Mark V HD. It starts at 3.6 power magnification, and it's adjustable all the way up to 18. Some could argue that it might be a little too much on a 14.5 inch, specifically on this setup, especially.
Those people don't know what they're talking about.
And especially in combination with the, can we show them the MAMs again? Just this adding on that little bit of extra oomph really allows you to be precise out to those further distances that most people are not engaging with the 5.56.
Oomph is important, especially in the hips.
Yeah, especially. You want to be a long stroke. Don't be a short stroke, motherfucker. You want to be a long stroke. But I like having a little more power. That's just me. But it's clean. It's first focal plane, and I love it. I really do. I'm running the Tremor 3 illuminated reticle. In the beginning, it looks a little overwhelming, but a little bit of research online, and then watching the guy who created the reticles video on YouTube, and then that's right, I forgot his name. And then when you practice with it, it's actually quite easy, to be honest with you.
So we've talked about the Tremor 3 reticle versus the Horus H59 versus the Horus H58.
Which the H59 is a great reticle by all means.
Yep. And what, in my opinion, I would prefer the H59 over the Tremor, mostly because how much target you cover with the Tremor. You do cover
clutter.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the like I understand the H59 is busy by most people's standards. But whenever you're talking about, like the Tremor, like having the wind dots in it, you cover a lot of target with those wind dots. And
absolutely.
I don't like that. Personally. And I understand its usefulness. I think they're useful for any 30 caliber gun or any like military type gun that maybe be, 5.56, running their velocities with Mark II 62 and stuff like that, which is what you would run that scope on a Mark 12. Or an M110 running M118 LR, and works really good with that. Running the, not the Alpha 190-1, the new 300 Win Mag ammo. When wind docs work well with that, whenever you true it in your applied ballistics program or everything like that. But beyond that, like if you try to run some Wildcat with it or whatever, it gets funky. It doesn't really work for those. That's why I prefer the H59, is because it's more versatile in my opinion, and it covers less target.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because nothing can be further from the truth. Personally, I've tried working this with a 223 Wild on somebody else's rifle, and compared to the 223 Remington that I've 77 grain that I shoot out of here, or some 5.56 77 grain that I shoot out of here, very, very noticeable differences, and even frustrating, at least for me, because I was like, what, 223 Wild and this, they're similar in dimensions. How come I'm not able to apply the same holds?
Velocity MDC.
And exactly, your ballistic coefficient and velocity is so crucial. Someone else before was mentioning data collection, and then what's the correct terminology for it?
Truing.
Truing, I guess is a good word to use. It's crucial to success, because if you're not doing that, it's almost like a guessing game. Maybe a little easier than a guessing game, but not by much. Practice, 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 and shooting from different positions, supported, not supported, crouching, sitting.
Unconventional positions.
Yeah, unconventional positions, especially things that are slanted.
Yep.
And the more uncomfortable that you can get when you're practicing, I don't know if this is maybe not science, but I'm guessing that you'll probably be
in the more stable positions.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would hope so.
last
All right,
question.
cool. To wrap it up, any new developments?
Yeah, because it's been like 80 minutes.
It's been a little bit, but it's all right.
New developments.
You have good content. That's important.
Well, it all ties into the rifle. I recently got engaged. I worked very hard, and I got my fiance,
What's his name?
Calvin Klein.
He sounds hideous.
Morgan is my fiance, and she's absolutely fucking straight gorgy, like a 12. All right, something crazy. I don't even show her to people because she's just that blazing hot. It's dangerous.
Has
actually.
she seen you?
She has seen me. She has seen me.
Our next guest is gonna be Morgan.
Because I'm not that blazing hot.
People
like she
stick
is.
around. This is gonna be good.
It's worth it. This is the only place that she's ever going to be shown.
Is it one of those like you don't want people to know that she's your like you don't want people to know she exists so they don't take her from you because like
Something like that.
You're not that good looking of a dude.
That's part of the
equation.
equation.
To tell you, don't get me wrong. I'm not a good looking dude. Ashton's handsome.
But you do have a very respectable beard, I must say.
Unfortunately, it has to go. I am still in the Army, and I am going to have to shave it. But for now,
I'll make a call. We'll send you to CAG. You can keep the beard. And you are a very handsome individual.
I got connections.
So the new development is I asked Morgan to marry me. She said yes, so we got engaged. And so I worked very, very hard to get her one of the sickest diamond rings anyone has ever seen. Charlie Sheen didn't get these rings for his wives. This is something just out of this world. And so I said I had to treat myself because I worked so hard to be able to get it's important to treat yourself. It really is. You don't do it every day. It'll get old. But you got to make sure to hook yourself up every once in a while. Super crucial. But what I did is I went out and I'm very familiar with SR-25 just from my military service in Israel, and got introduced to Knights. And I said, you know what? I've saved up and I got engaged and I spent all my money on my girl, so I deserve a bitchin' high quality rifle. I really do deserve this. I gotta put these two. And so this is new to my life. I'm very happy with it. Just actually, to be honest with you, over the moon. With everything you see on here, and I worked hard for it. I'm happy that I got it. You know, I couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. And no one's allowed to touch it. This is mine. It sleeps with me in my bed. And
between you and your fiance, I assume like
it's
the gun and then your fiance.
In the beginning, it would separate between us as the buffer, and she started like
Getting
opening
jelly.
up the scope cap and trying to get a sight picture. I was like, "Fuck you, bitch. This is mine." And then now I always sleep with it like this.
Yeah, priorities.
Yeah, priorities. You know, absolutely. Priorities is very important in life.
Man, it has been an absolute blast having you on the show. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Please invite me again because
Never.
not only you guys
Never invite me.
never I can